Hey, back like I never left. 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 Spring has sprung. Birds are chirping. People are sneezing. There is pollen in the air. It's a new season. And if you are a Christian, it's Rosh Hashanah at sunset, Monday sunset. So it's just a season of newness. What do we do when we are in a new year, a new season? We review. We review our goals, we review where we are in life. And so if you are feeling stuck in this time, watch this video and find out 3 ways that you could be getting redirected in life or in your career. So I shared the story of how I quit my job in September of 2020, just because I knew that, I no longer wanted to be there. But before I quit my job, it was very much a long process of starting to see signs that I was kind of out of alignment. And some of those signs were external. Before I was able to accept it and internalize the fact that maybe I'm in the completely wrong career, things were happening around me that felt like doors were being shut in my face. Where I worked at an investment bank, I was part of a 3-year program or a 2-year program where you rotate around the bank, and eventually at the end of the 2 years, you're supposed to find a permanent space to begin your career. I was really struggling with that last part. I had rotated around the bank. They had extended the program for me specifically, and me and a couple of others. But I was kind of the straggler of the group. Everybody else had found a permanent space to grow their careers in the bank. Others had gone into corporate finance. Others had gone into credit. Other people, after 2 years, had kind of found a home. I had struggled. And I had applied for many positions within the bank, maybe 2 or 3 positions within the bank, and I just kept getting rejected. And that rejection just felt so weird for me. First of all, career rejection is something that I hadn't experienced much of. I've pretty much gotten an interview and a job offer from almost every job I've applied for. I've had 3 jobs in my career, and I've applied for about 4 jobs in my entire career life. And I've only ever had like 1 job rejection. I kid you not. I've only ever had 1 job rejection. So I think being rejected in my career was something that was strange for me. It felt bizarre. I couldn't understand why, even though I had good relationships and a generally decent reputation, doors were being shut in my face. I wasn't progressing in interviews. And I just couldn't seem to find a permanent space outside of this program, unlike my peers. And it took a long time for me to recognize that rejection that I was experiencing was really the first sign of me being redirected out of investment banking altogether. And sometimes if you don't want to make a move, then what God will do and what the world will force you to do is it will push you out because you're in the wrong space. So all that rejection, what really felt like I was being pushed out of that company and pushed out of banking altogether, because it felt like doors were being closed in my face in that space. And so rejection really can be redirection. And if you're applying for positions, or if you're trying to grow and you're not getting a promotion and other people keep getting passed up ahead of you, that could be the first sign where you need to start introspecting. Am I in the right place? Is it time for me to make a different move? Is it time for me to leave the company? Is it time for me to change careers? Is it time for me to leave this team and go join another team? When you start feeling stagnant, that's a sign. The second sign that you are being redirected in your life or in your career is if you no longer feel any connection to what it is that you're doing. So I'm mostly talking in the context of career, but I mean, you could apply this to your life. If there are relationships that are starting to feel stagnant, you're going to feel the same disconnect. So what can happen when you're kind of realizing that you're in the wrong space is you can start feeling disconnected from the work that you're doing. So what once used to give you joy, what once used to excite you, what once used to motivate you, you kind of lose that motivation over time. You may very well have burnout, or it could be that you need to make a more permanent shift in your career, or you need to really start looking into making a more permanent decision about the relationship that you're in that is stagnant. So a loss of motivation, a loss of joy, a disconnection in what you are doing is a massive, massive indicator that it's time to start really being introspective about the relationship or your work or your career or where you are in life, and start seriously considering whether it's time to move in a different direction. So this is basically a follow-up on the second point. This last point is the work you're doing is de-energizing. If the work you are doing is really de-energizing, you're not really getting anything back from it, and even if you used to enjoy it, if work that you previously enjoyed is now very de-energizing, there's not a whole lot to say about that. I think it's very clear that it's time for you to start considering that maybe you've evolved to a point where it's time for you to do something else. Explore different talents, explore a different environment, change of scenery. What do you do with this information? Now that you know that you're kind of in a place where you're ready for a transition or a change, what do you do with that information? I would advise you to seek therapy or some type of guidance. If it's relating to your career, seek some career guidance. If you have a mentor, somebody you really trust, I think talk to them, seek some guidance. Sometimes it really helps to hear your thoughts out on another person, sound out the problem, sound out some solutions. I think it's a great option in terms of thinking out loud. Another thing that I think you should really do is meditate, pray. If you're a believer, pray about it. Do not underestimate the power of prayer, meditation, getting quiet and allowing your thoughts to become louder, because it will really give you a good sense of direction, and it will allow you to understand what it is that you need and what it is that you are looking for in the future. So that's my tip. These are my tips on how to move forward with this knowledge. I really, really encourage people to really do not be afraid of change. Change is a good thing. It exposes you to new people, new experiences, and it challenges you. It brings things out of you that you never knew existed. And so it's a great way for you to get more out of life. So do not be afraid of change. Don't stay in stagnancy. That's what this video is about. Just encouraging people to really embrace change and not run away from it or be intimidated by it. So if you've watched the entire video, thank you so much. I hope it helped you, and peace out.